If you're a writer, marketer, communications professional, or content creator, and you've ever struggled to find the perfect image before, this video is for you. I'm going to show you step by step how to use ChatGPT to create stunning and realistic AI images, even if you've never done it before. I'm going to include some use cases and lots of examples, and I will share some less obvious tips as well. If you're new here, I'm Aga. I run an online education business with more than 1.5 million followers across my social media platforms. On this channel, I share my top tips on content, AI, and productivity. So hit the subscribe button and let's get started. So if you want to make an image in ChatGPT, you just need to go to the ChatGPT website. So you can generate an image by entering a prompt into this box. A prompt is just a description of the image that you want to make. So what do you actually want to see? Here's a basic formula to include in your prompt: subject, scene or setting, style, and details. So let's compare what it looks like when you use a very basic prompt versus when you use the formula I've just shown you. So create an image of coffee. It takes some time to create those images, so make sure you're patient. But I'm going to enter a slightly different prompt using the formula I've just given you. So a steaming cup of coffee on a rustic wooden table, morning sunlight coming through a window in soft cinematic lighting. So I've included lots of details about the vibe that I want to include in the image, where this coffee is, what it looks like, the temperature of the coffee, and also some details about the lighting that I'm after. So you can see there is a difference, and the main difference is that the first image is very random. So if you're looking for something random and you don't mind what you get, that's fine. But if you have a specific idea about the type of image that you need, make sure that you include as much detail as possible in the prompt. One thing to mention here is that because you're likely creating an image for a specific piece of content, you can specify the dimensions in your prompt. You can tell ChatGPT that you need a square image for Instagram or a wide image for a blog header. So I'm going to add this prompt into ChatGPT. A square image of a vibrant, colorful smoothie bowl with fruit and seeds, tropical vibes, styled like a trendy Instagram post. So I've included information about the format so that I don't actually have to do anything with the image afterwards. And this is what it comes up with. So it's got all the details that I've asked for. If I'm not happy with it, I can always do it again, or I can ask ChatGPT to create several different alternatives. That is something that can really save you time as well. So in your prompt, you can just say, give me 5 alternatives of this picture. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to refine the style. So first you can specify the art style or the era for the image. So we're going to use the same prompt that we used for the smoothie bowl, but we're going to do it in 2 different styles. The first style is going to be a 1970s magazine ad style, and the second one is going to be children's book illustration style. So this is just to show you the differences between what ChatGPT comes up with when using different prompts about style and the era that you want the picture to resemble. So you can see they are very different images. So now I've got lots of different things to choose from, and I just want to make sure that whatever I've created aligns with my brand and just doesn't look out of place. You can also use some basic photography terms to create a certain feel, like shallow depth of field for a blurry background. Include backlit or golden hour in your prompt for a specific type of lighting. Or you can say soft studio lighting if you want a more polished, professional look. Let's see what it does with a prompt about lighting. So a woman reading on a couch in natural window light, shallow depth of field, candid photo style. So this is great, that the lighting is natural, there is a blurry background, and it does look quite candid. So you can familiarize yourself with some basic photography terminology to make sure that you get the right kind of thing that you're looking for. The next thing I want to talk about is images of people. So when you're creating an image of a person, it's a good idea to create a character rather than just saying that you need a picture of a person or a man. So let me show you what I mean. So let's see how a picture can change when you add different parameters to your prompt. So I'm going to just say a woman standing outside, which is obviously going to give me quite a random picture. And I haven't specified anything about the woman or where she is. As you can see, the picture is quite random. It might work for you if that's what you're looking for, but it's not what I'm looking for. So I'm going to specify that I would like a 30-something South Asian woman with curly hair, wearing casual jeans and a white linen blouse, standing outside a small bookshop, smiling naturally. So I've given quite a bit of details about what I want her to look like, what I want her to wear, and also where exactly she is and how she's behaving. So you can see that the picture really reflects the description, the prompt that I've given. It is less random. Obviously, to save time, I can ask ChatGPT to create 5 alternatives of this image, so I've got something to choose from. It's also a good idea to ground the character in a real environment to make it look more realistic. For example, at a local market, in a messy living room, on a rainy pavement. My next tip is important, especially when creating images of groups of people. So for example, you might be creating an image of a group of people working together for a blog post. If you're not specific about the differences between the people in the picture, ChatGPT may give you a group of people that look very similar to each other. So to introduce a little bit of variety, you can either describe each person, or you can just give ChatGPT a general prompt to say that you want a variety of different ethnicities, ages, and looks. To make your image even more realistic, you can describe the emotion. So instead of just saying a person looking at a laptop, I'm going to introduce some emotion into the prompt. So I'm going to say a young man looking at a laptop with a surprised and excited expression, as if he's just received good news. So this has given me a very different image, an image where you can actually see what this man might be feeling. Sometimes you might need an image where the person isn't actually visible. So in your prompt, you can say seen from behind, or you may need a picture of hands doing an action. So you can just say a person's hand holding an iPad. My next tip is make it more realistic. So AI generated images tend to be quite perfect. There's not many imperfections in them. And sometimes you just need to use the right prompt to introduce some imperfections, because perfection just looks fake. Real life is messy, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how life is. So for example, you can ask it for dirty old trainers or a cafe with slightly messy tables in the background. Nothing is perfect in real life, and your audience is likely to relate more to a picture that shows what life is really like. The same thing applies to people. So ChatGPT and AI in general tends to generate images of people who are conventionally good looking. So what you can do is you can modify your prompt to tell ChatGPT that you want somebody who is not conventionally good looking. Or you can talk about the specific features that you want changed. Like you may want thinning hair or uneven skin. Sometimes perfect people are fine for your brand. This might be what you need, but often people relate more to images of people that look more like an average person that you see out and about. You can also anchor your images in culture or in time. You can create images that will be familiar to your audience, like a cozy autumn street in Brooklyn with brownstone buildings, or a millennial woman working on a laptop in a cafe 2020 style. And finally, ethical considerations. So before you go and create a bunch of images with ChatGPT, it's important you think about ethics. So make sure that you're not using AI to deceive your audience or to create harmful or misleading images or images that infringe on someone else's copyright. And finally, be transparent about using AI-generated images, especially if you're using them in a commercial context. If this video helped you, make sure you subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.